It felt familiar. Nothing connected them, but if she imagined lines between them, the resulting structure would form a net. A net. Like the kind her mother liked to weave from magic. She stretched mental fingers, her own power washing over the nodes, and there. Faint echoes of Nyx Fortuna's magic. This had been a hiding, then. Something larger and more complex than Nyx had ever imagined a hidden could build. But then she had only just started working on hiding multiple things at the same time. Upping the difficulty and complexity of her workings had been her mother's 12th birthday present to her that morning. So what was this? Some kind of test to see if Nyx could find her way out of the working's core? She'd stood within the matrix of a hidden web before, but it had always been one of her own making, so the way out had been well marked. She couldn't see the way out of this one. Even though this wasn't her own hiding, finding an exit route should be simple, because this hiding wasn't functional anymore. Her mother's power was gone, so why was Nyx still stuck here? What was it Victor always told her? If you find yourself in entirely unfamiliar surroundings and no one is looking for you, choose a direction and start walking. Do not deviate unless safety dictates that you do so. If you think you're trapped, find the nearest perimeter and make your way to it. Map the confines of your cage. She spun in a circle, trying to see an end to the nodes, to determine if they formed a perimeter. To her left, she counted 5 nodes but couldn't see any past the 5th. Hoping that meant that the 5th node represented the outer edge of the matrix, she crouched, readying to leap to the next node. "Don't jump!" The voice startled her so badly she nearly fell off her perch. She searched, looking for the speaker, but saw no one. "Who's there?" "It's Toby." The voice sounded like it belonged to someone a few years younger than her, while simultaneously sounding as if it belonged to someone decades older. If she was forced to pick one, she'd say both, and that didn't make any sense. Neither did the fact that Toby clearly seemed to think she should know who he was, which was hilarious, even if he probably didn't know it. Nyx's world consisted of her mother, Victor, and Set. Them and the random stranger she met every time she and Set ran away, even if Victor never let them stay gone long. "I don't know a Toby." "No, I guess you don't right now." She still couldn't pin down the age, and it almost sounded like more than one person talking in the same voice. It echoed around her. "But you will. You're nice and you found me my mom's, so I'm going to help you." What? She was pretty sure she would remember if she'd run across a lost boy and helped him find his mother's. This was either a really vivid dream or Set. His illusions kept getting better by the day. She didn't know how he'd faked her mother's magical signature or how he'd gotten her into this illusion without her remembering it, but she was seriously going to annihilate him in their next sparring match for this. "Set's here," the voice calling itself Toby said. "But if you want to talk to him, you're going to have to wake up." "Uh-huh," Nyx said. "And I suppose to wake up you're going to tell me I need to hop on one foot in a circle 6 times while chanting some nonsense words?" "No," Toby said patiently, almost like he'd expected that reaction. "That would never work." Nyx frowned. Set never kept trying to fool her once she'd figured out what he was doing. He would just come back with something more ridiculous than hopping on her foot and tell her that was the price of dropping the illusion. She rarely ever did what he told her to. She had a stubborn streak and a lot of time. With a combination of the two, she could usually make an illusion so difficult for him to hold that he was forced to drop it. But he always made the ridiculous requests anyway. Except now he wasn't. So if Set wasn't doing this, was it one of her mother's tests? "You need to wake up," Toby repeated. "So I need you to jump off the point you're on. Not to any of the other points. Just step off." She looked down and swallowed. Nothing below, just empty abyss. She looked up and saw the other nodes. They weren't